Okay, so these clips still having a problem. I even tried to use a jack to jack them up on there, and still they wouldn't go all the way up. But I mean, these are in here pretty good. So if you remember from the last episode, I had one where the stud came out, and I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. Well, since I got the interior ripped out, here's what I did. So I just drilled a hole, because this is the back of the back seat. So I just drilled a hole here and stuck it through and tightened it down, and those aren't going anywhere. Then I also did the same thing for up here, because there was no way I was getting that clip on there. So I did the same thing there. So now we can take a look. So there's the one in the back seat. And there's the one up top. So what I'll do then is I'll just spray those in with some stuff to keep the water out and seal them up. So I think we're good to go on those, and I think that's what I'm going to do in the front as well, but I'll show that later. Okay, so today we did get the fuel pump in, or the fuel filter, and got the lines done. I also had to repair that was broken. I didn't realize that it was broken, so actually what I did was I super glued it and then clamped it, which is what I did for the filter too, and it seems to be holding pretty well. So we've got those in, and I still got to get the tank cleaned out, just this bottom part in here cleaned out, and I'll show that right before I start to do it, and let that set, and then we'll get that line on, and I'll get the fuel injectors rebuilt, and then get the lines hooked up to the hard lines up front, and the return line back here. And I think we will be good to go. So, moving right along. All right, well, we had a setback today. So I went to put on one of the fuel lines, and I had to actually remove the fuel rail. And when I did, it damaged all the fuel injectors that I rebuilt, the seals and stuff, and they cracked, and some of the hats were left in, so that sucks. So I'm going to have to order more kits, and I'll just rebuild them again. But I couldn't get this line on with it in the car. I couldn't push it on hard enough and couldn't get it on. So I tried to take it off again, and when I did, it ruined these. So I will get a new set and redo them. All right. So after a long period of time, I now have my new strainer. My fuel lines in the back are complete. So all that's left is to get that front fixed. So that's where we are. All right. All right, so next update. You'll notice something's missing. So when I went to put the fuel line on to the dampener, I couldn't get it on, so I had to, and when I pulled the fuel rail, you'll remember I damaged the injectors. I didn't damage them, I just had to reseal them and everything. So I did that, and then when I went to put the fuel rail back on, I don't know if you could see that or not. Let's see if I can get a light down in there. Stripped out the bolt hole like a moron. So we've decided to, I got my intake manifold back in. Decided we're going to have a little fun this weekend on a nice project. We're going to clean it up and we're going to paint it red. So I don't know, just something to do. Positive things. So tired of things breaking, so just working on getting it cleaned up. Alright, so we're getting ready to paint the manifold. So it's just kind of the setup I have. It's just a coat hanger hanging from the garage door. Got all the holes taped up, except for the one I've got the hanger through. Got it all cleaned up. So we'll put a couple of coats of primer on it. It's a little damp out today. It's rained last night. But we'll get that and a couple of coats of paint on it. And we'll see how she looks. So there we go. All right. All right. So we've got 2 coats of primer on there. Looks pretty good. So we are going to go ahead and put the first finishing coat on. See how it comes out. All right, so manifold is painted. So just curious if anyone wants to comment which looks better. Which would you rather have in your car? I think the red one looks pretty good. But yeah, so those are done. Okay, so today we are going to try to clean up the engine bay inside the garage. So this should be fun. So got my towels, I got a bucket under there, I got my wet vac ready. So we got the engine degreaser. I think I got all my holes covered that I have open, but I want to try to clean some of this up a little bit since I have everything off. So I decided to take the mass airflow sensor off since I was taking everything off anyway and I knew I was going to wash this. And I came across this. So for some reason, this boot somehow got sliced open and the wire cut. Well, I tried getting the connector out and I destroyed it while I was trying to get it out. So I actually found I used one of these for like 35 bucks, so I'm just gonna splice everything together and I'll shrink it, solder it together and then heat shrink it back and get that done. But yeah, you know, and this was on the bottom of, so it was like this, so I didn't even see it. The only reason I found it was because I took the mass airflow sensor off. Otherwise I would have never seen it. So I can't imagine that it worked with one of the 4 wires broken. So yep, we're gonna go from there. We're gonna try to wash it and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we got it gelled up, letting it sit. See how well this stuff works. You can already see it's cleaning that stuff off. So looks like it's going pretty good so far. But we shall see. All right, so here is the after. Just kind of letting some of it pool back up. I used the shop vac to kind of suck up a lot of the water that was left on the engine, but you can see it's still kind of pooling up. But it did okay. I left it on for 15 minutes like it said, 10 to 15 minutes. But I am thinking I might do another shot of it tomorrow. There's just some places that it's just still kind of goopy. And maybe leave it on for 20 minutes this time instead of just 10. And then maybe do some up here too, because I did a little bit right there. You can see like right around that nut, and it cleaned it up pretty good. But all in all, did pretty good. Not really much splatter. Not a ton of water. Yeah. So I think that worked actually pretty good. So we'll go from there, and we'll try it again maybe tomorrow once this dries off, because it's got to be done on a dry engine. All right, so we got the engine cleaned up. We did it a couple of times actually today. There is a little bit of white film. It said that it would have it if you didn't get the stuff off, but I did. I rinsed it when I was supposed to, but it's still got a little bit of a white film. But I mean, that's okay. It sure looks a lot better than the grease, but you can see where it kind of pooled the grease, so gotta maybe try to dig that out. But that looks a heck of a lot better than it did before. So yep, there we go. Oh, yep. So you will notice that that check valve is missing. All right, so here is the brake booster check valve that was broken. So this part is $50. So I'm going to try something different. Let's see if it works. I don't know. So I have some of the line that I was used for the old vacuum lines that I replaced. I am going to drill this hole big enough just to fit that in there, then seal it with some flex shot. And then that extra brake line fits right in there. So we're gonna see if that works. We'll use a little super glue, we'll use a little flex shot, but we're gonna see if that works, because I can't keep spending 50 bucks here, 50 bucks there. I just got to get this car running. So we're gonna try that. And the reason why is what I did was I took an old piece of vacuum line that I didn't throw away and drilled the hole just a little bit bigger, big enough for that to get in there. It was a pretty tight squeeze. I think it was 5/32 is what I drilled the hole. And then I used Flex Seal to seal that up. So I'm hoping that that will hold the vacuum, because this part is like 50 bucks. So just need to get it running.